Forged from the love of liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we solemnly declare. Side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our native land. We pledge our lives to thee. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Here every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast, that it may be a source of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light to those who need it most. We pray for our listeners, wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you and be a blessing to others. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Your voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
They love to cool. When I sing them a soca tune. So come on, I want you to come home with me and sing. I would like you to prove you're the soca king. I'm the baron, they call me the sweet soca man. The girls in town say they want me to wear a crown for them, but I sing my song just to please all the folks around. They say, honey child, I want to see the barango why. I know you like to tease, and I know you could really please. And I'm singing, I'm the baron, they call me the sweet soca man. When I jam you, I know you will understand. All the boys in the town want to knock me down, 'cause they know I'm the king of the action around. Hey.
Wake up, rise up. It's the Net Radio Breakfast Show, bringing you the energy, music, and vibes to start your day right.
All my soca songs make them girls hips go round.
Well, everybody, good morning to you, wherever you may be right about now. If you're here in Trinidad and Tobago, good day to you. Good morning to our family, our friends who are streaming all around the globe in the different spaces. A very special good day to you.
My soca beat,
Our neighbors in the Caribbean, whether they stream up or down the Caribbean, good day to you.
telling them
Thank you very much for being here. Just in case you're wondering where here is, just in case you're wondering where that is.
they call
Of course, this is New Era TT Radio. We are the heartbeat of the Caribbean. This is where we take you above and beyond.
you will understand.
I want to say much thanks as always to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day.
All the men in
All that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing on to you. People, I am yours truly, Sir Charles. Happy am I to be in your company on this beautiful Thursday morning. It's a throwback Thursday. Yeah, so you know what you're going to get, right? Anyhow, this is the Get Up and Go. We welcome everybody. Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The breakfast show got the vibes turned on. From Maracas Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Good vibes rolling through the air. The breakfast show energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
So good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to our listeners and viewers all over the planet. And of course, it is Thursday morning, and it's a nice Thursday morning so far, at least in Trinidad. So hope you are having a fantastic morning wherever you are, or a fantastic day wherever you are. Because, some of you are in different time zones. So a big good morning. Of course, today is Thursday. The weekend begins tonight, people, at a second after midnight. So remember that. We celebrate weekends here like no other. So a special good morning to Wendell and Sir Charles, my co-host. Good morning, guys.
Well, good morning. Hey, look who popped up. Look who popped up. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Wendell. It's really a pleasure to see you guys this morning, man.
I was working out a strategy for simplicity So, good morning, Sir Charles, and good morning, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. Woo, time zones mess you up badly.
Uh-huh. I was just telling people in different time zones, good morning.
Oh,
Of
God.
course, there is Thursday, lots to talk about today. And of course, our special guest on this morning will be the leader of the opposition. She'll be joining us in the next hour around 7:20 a.m. So you can look forward to that. Penelope Beckles-Robinson. So she, of course, will be weighing in on the different issues facing the country. Of course, the budget, the opposition's response, etc., and other things that are going on, including the rapid appointment of a new Chief Justice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
How rapid was that?
yeah, so it was startlingly rapid.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be discussing all of that because even I was taken aback. I was like, wow, they did that quickly, boy.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm even though, you know, Wade Mark as the acting president has the full authority to do that because you're in the position.
Yeah.
I'm conflicted about whether the substantive holder should do such an important appointment.
Yeah. And
So,
I'm also conflicted
yeah.
that Justice Ronnie Boodoo Singh, who eventually got it, should have been embroiled in that sort of thing. It's not fair to him because he may very well deserve the appointment of Chief Justice. But because of how the circumstances happen, I don't think it's fair to him either.
Yeah.
You know?
It kind of sullies it a little bit because even though procedurally the process,
nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong.
The process is correct.
Yeah.
There is still a certain element of, because you can put in an acting Chief Justice.
Yes.
There is nothing wrong with putting in an acting Chief Justice. And you just think that the entire process should be a little bit more studied and you don't want something like that to come across rushed.
Yes. Yeah.
And you just don't. You want it to be given the seriousness of what the office represents. And Ivor Archie resigning, even though we know he was retiring, but retiring suddenly by saying, well, I'm leaving the next day.
The next day, yeah.
And then seemingly rushing this appointment gives an air that is not going to sit comfortably with people. I'm sure there are a lot of opinion columnists who are going to weigh in on it over the weekend in the various dailies. But yeah, it seemed a little too rushed to me.
Yeah. And I even thought of what you just said too, that they could have just simply have somebody act until the process is smoother, you know, or even appear to be smoother, you know.
It should just be given the seriousness and the studied seriousness of an appointment like that.
Yeah.
Because you can't have one Chief Justice retiring suddenly and you're putting somebody in a place automatically. And I mean there is a consultation requirement in the Constitution for the Chief Justice with the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
But
did that take place? Because I gather from what came out from the leader of the opposition that she had, is it that she had written the president asking to vote?
Well, she was sent correspondence asking for her opinion, I guess, and she had to give it by 1 p.m. the same day.
Oh.
And so hence the rushed nature, at least articulated by her position. But her position is that it's rushed and they could have done an acting CJ.
Anyway.
And she was suggesting Justice Prakash Musai, I think it was.
Oh, she did? I didn't even know that his
Yeah,
name
I think she suggested him as acting until you go through the process of selecting a CG. But it's done. You can't. You can't. No court can inquire into whether proper consultation was done or not. So,
yeah. I guess it's over. So congratulations to Justice Ronnie Budusing. A name I'm not familiar with at all, I have to say.
No. I mean, I know Justice Budusing, but but as I said, you don't want your tenure to start off with a little. It's not fair to him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not fair to him.
Yeah, but you said it. It's a valid point. It's not fair to him. Yeah. But congratulations to Justice Budusing, who's now the Chief Justice. Yeah. So congratulations to our new Chief Justice. Nevertheless, even though, of course, we will talk about all the issues here. Yeah. And we will have the opposition leader in the next hour, so I'm sure she'll weigh on why she has her opinion. She's also a senior attorney. Yeah. So she will have her opinion on how she sees it. But does not take away from congratulating Justice Budusing on his ascension to the top post in the judiciary.
Yeah.
I am also wondering, guys, the suddenness of at least where the public is concerned. I don't know if it happened behind the scenes, but where the public is concerned, I mean, we just heard that the Chief Justice one day before that he's retiring the next day. I don't know if that created some sort of confusion in somebody's mind. But I really thought also, because we knew he was going to retire, shortly.
During this law term, he said.
Yeah, so I was really expecting that, just like in any other acting position, you hear the person is acting until the end of the month, or, at least a 2 week to a month period. I found it very strange that the public only found out one day before that the Chief Justice was going the next day. I don't know if that was communicated to other persons, government, whoever it is before, but I just found that very, very strange.
It obvious. Now it gets even weirder when you go down the rabbit hole, because apparently there was, and of course the opposition leader can speak to this, but I'm just going on what happened on news last night. And on news last night, they were saying that former Chief Justice Ivor Archie, was going on leave in November. From like November 5th to 25th, or some dates like that, with fives in it. And so he was going on leave for a period. And during that leave period, I think Justice Musai was supposed to be the acting Chief Justice.
Okay.
So there was some leave planned, and that was seemingly, if I remember the news item correct last night, seemingly approved, and that Justice Musai was one of the names proffered to be acting CJ. So you have leave in November. And so it contextualizes what you're saying, Sir Charles. It kind of starts to paint the picture a little better, because if you have leave in November that you have applied for, I'm assuming you would have applied for that leave, why the sudden retirement? Why the sudden retirement in a day? What happened? What happened behind the scenes that propelled your retirement if you had leave coming up in November? So
something happened where you obviously look, say to hell with all you, I gone.
And that is the feeling that I'm getting, Wendell. Because like normally in any institution, you try to make sure there's some measure of smooth transition taking place, handover, of certain things and offices and that sort of thing, and especially for high office holders like that. Why this Chief Justice will just up one day and just, look, fellas, I go on, yes, I done with this.
That's obviously the state he reached. To hell with all you, I gone. Those are my words, of course. To hell with all you, I gone. Tomorrow.
And I
do all you want.
I feel the Chief Justice should tell us why he just abruptly leave like that.
Yeah, you don't want speculation in things like that. And the process and the way it was done fuels speculation. And for that kind of position, you don't want it. So to me, why would he have resigned when you have already applied for leave in November, according to the news item? I mean, the opposition leader could clear that up for us.
I think that is where the bigger
Yeah.
question or frustration, is coming
Yeah.
across from me
But
personally.
not
When
only-
does the poll,
Yeah.
All right?
right.
So it seems a little, you don't want to go down the conspiracy theorist rabbit hole, but when things don't happen in a reasonable way, it gives rise to speculation.
Yeah. And let me, the rabbit hole is open because an acting president in Weidmark is in office for just another few days because just Miss Christine Kangaloo went on holiday, the substantive president, who of course she would have come out under her own attack as a political appointee back then, and Weidmark is now acting president for the next few days again. Is it designed for that purpose? We don't know.
Obviously it was. Obviously it was designed for it to happen under Weidmark's stewardship. That's the only picture you can come from. That's the only picture that can come from it.
Yeah.
Because of how it was done.
Yes.
That's the picture that you're getting.
Yes.
Because the president has a certain amount of considerable power in that appointment. Because remember, the president is the one who has to consult with the prime minister and the leader of the opposition.
Yes.
But even if the president did not consult, I think there's an ouster clause that says that it still can't go before any court. Somewhere in section 80, I think it is, if I remember my constitution correctly. Any lawyers in the stream could correct me if I'm wrong. But I think there's an ouster clause that says that what the act of consultation means, they kind of define it and whether it can be looked into by any court, and it can't. So the president wields a certain amount of power there. So it seems, unfortunately, to paint a very cloudy picture that was this all, drummed up to happen during the acting stewardship of Weidmark as president. And of course, as commentators, we will always look at all of those things because we know politicians can be sneaky when they're ready.
Yeah, it happened. If people remember, that accusation was also leveled against the then PNM government with the central bank governor when Christine Kangaloo Garcia was president of the Senate, and the substantive president, Paula May Weeks, was out of the country and she was acting, and that's when the central bank governor was fired.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So you understand? So anytime you do things, when you do serious appointments, somebody acting in a position, it will always be scrutinized more.
Yes.
It will always be scrutinized more. Yes. And rightfully so. In a democracy, you always have to scrutinize. And if you're uncomfortable with the population scrutinized or media scrutinizing, then just remember you're not in an autocracy.
Go in the sea. And
no, you're in a democracy, so we have to scrutinize.
No, don't watch. Don't watch, don't read, don't listen. Go in the sea and bathe.
But it's just unfortunate in terms of Justice Budu Singh, because it kind of takes away some of his, applause.
Exactly.
And he shouldn't have to have any of his applause colored in any way. So, but as we say, fundamentally, congratulations to Justice Budu Singh, and we're missing out good news. My good news today is all for all of the Jamaicans in the stream, by the way. So,
Jamaica.
I'll do not good news for Jamaica.
Well, let me do it.
Right, so.
All right,
so let's go to good news.
Jamaica.
True or false, Jamaica actually sits on top of a large underwater mountain?
That's true.
What's Jamaica's original name?
It is Zamaka. It was originally founded by Taino Indians.
When?
Around 600 AD.
How did Jamaica's flag come to be?
So on the 9th of August 1962, Independence Day, they held a national competition. And that's how the Jamaica flag was born.
You sound very proud to be a Jamaican.
Very big up.
True or false, is the third largest island in the Caribbean?
False.
Or is it?
We're first. We're small, but we're Talawa.
It's true, you're the third largest. But I love the pride though. True or false, a third of all Jamaicans live in the capital city?
True. Big up JA every time. To the world.
Jamaica. Tell me something most people don't know about Jamaica.
So Jamaica was the first country outside of Europe to build a railway in 1845. Home to over 120 rivers, is the only flag in the world that does not contain red, white or blue. The first Caribbean island to launch a TV channel. And I think that Jamaica was the first country to launch a website.
So a little good news for Jamaicans in the stream, or Jamaicans watching us on Gael Caribbean.
Yeah, big up Jamaica, man. The land I love, but the land we love.
Jamaica.
Jamaica is a very proud place. You know? Anyway, let's get into the chat this morning. A lot of chat taking place this morning because a lot of chat took place with us. But let's greet some people. Let me just say happy birthday to a few people. Alicia Rahim Maraj, Winifred David, former chief CEO of the Port of Spain Corporation. Amber Keynes, she's a councillor down in Diego Martin Borough. Princess Bazdeo, Abdul Karim, Shamin Davis Mansano, and our twins, Suzanne and Suzette Jessup. They are celebrating a birthday today, October 23rd. Today is the start of Scorpio, isn't it, Richard?
Yes.
Yes, today is the start of Scorpio. It's the start of the wannabe Librans, who just came a little.
Wannabe Librans? No, there's no such thing. Even this time before, don't want to be a Libran.
The start of the wannabe Libran season, but they're lucky. They're still in October. You know, and tomorrow, of course, we celebrate a huge birthday. Big.
Oh, my word.
Big. It's
But you know, I am also excited about that, you know. Like it's mine.
Well, you read love Dr. Rowley, Sir Charles.
We always put him second when we greeting people, when we greeting that day for birthdays. We always put his name second. Never first. Trust me. For the last 20 odd years. Anyway, Anthony.
So CJ's birthday tomorrow.
CJ's birthday is tomorrow too. So CJ will jump into second place.
And that is why I was celebrating. I don't know all look at anybody else, you know.
Tomorrow is Richard's birthday, boy.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Richard, you're second.
No, Richard first. Joking. CJ second. Dr. Rory will not drop the third.
Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. In order of appearance.
Dr. Rory.
All right. Anthony Tinto, Grand Rising to the Breakfast Crew. Valerie Mendoza also wishes Suzanne and Suzette, the twins, happy birthday. Anthony Tinto also says happy birthday, twins. Felix Kazo, morning, gentle linen. Okay, that's clearly a typo Felix got there. It looks like it says gentle linen. I think he meant gentleman. Victor Tongs, good morning. Suzanne Jessup's also wishing her twin sister, happy birthday. Coming from Suzanne, Suzette, and Gemma, Mrs. Gemma. All right. Ava Smith says good morning. Also, Brennan Smith, Margaret Thomas, Trini Merle Kitchen from Oshawa, Ontario, Odell Guy, Robert Taylor, Michael Cadet, Diane Payne, Marlon Motley also says good
morning. Marlon.
Cathy Ann Charles says good morning, and also good morning to Arlene out there in Bronxville, Texas. Jillian Denner, I don't remember seeing that name before. Good morning, everyone. Grand morning, everyone. Derek Duncan, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Nicola McNichols, manager TTU. That's also a new name. Carol Guevara. Oh, I'm not going to say Carol like she get married. I thought it was Carol Guevara Janius. Boy Bidesi from Debe. Oba Stevens from Brooklyn. No, that's not Oba Stevens. I thought your name come up there. What are you doing inside of here? Manuela Peters, Gavin Frank, Carl Guevara sends birthday blessings. Rena Budu Jennings, Merle McComey, Damian Edwin, Damian and Adana,
Amanda.
Amanda Edwin.
Good morning, Davian and Amanda.
Yeah, James Kamau, CJ from New York, who's celebrating a big day tomorrow. Carol Guevara again, what's she saying? She's singing. Slick Money Grip says good morning. Debbie Modest, Raymond Small, Cheryl Johnson from Malabar, Ilarizan, Ambrose Bra from New York, David McCarthy, Julia Samantha. What is this pop up on my thing? Ava Smith says good morning again. Apollinaris, Gerald Pollinier, Wayne Ramsey from Fort Lauderdale, Florence Bazzi, Robert Harper, Richard, your volume is fluctuating. Shoma Paul, Raymond Small, Katian Townsend, Anthony Miguel, Old Lady, I don't know who that is, Estelita Sampson, well, it's not Estelita Sampson, DL, Helen Prescott, Raymond Small celebrating the weekend, Michael Oliver, so you can't please Trinidadian. Michael, maybe you're new to this show, but we discuss everything on this show. Prabha Ramdial, DK, she was given 1 hour to respond. DL says is what they did in a point. DL, you clearly didn't listen this morning either, and don't listen, not a former listener. Ambrose Blah, DK is saying she suggested him as acting because the president had already sent her curse. Okay, well, I didn't even know that. DL says, so everything the present government does is controversial then. Come on, well, most everything, if you want the answer to that. Diane Payne, what was the rush? DK, okay, so they're discussing what we were discussing. David Singh, Trinidad is moving forward without the PNM. Archie knew exactly what he was doing. Sean Soka feels it gets a little awkward sometimes in your commentary. Stankin Sir Charles. Okay, let me just skip the new people. Curtis Marcel, Diane Payne, Melchizedek says good morning. Where new names? Donna Ramlochan says good morning. Lincoln Francis also says if it was okay, he was fired. Lincoln Francis, good morning. Cheryl Henry, good morning. Michael Robinson from Yokohama, Japan. Hill Benj also says good morning. Bernadette and Melissa Yates, that is. New names. Joyce Phillip, top of the morning, guys. Curtis Marcel. Blessed morning, my brother. He's saying that to Michael Robinson.
Good morning, Sleepy.
Who is that? Curtis Marcel?
Curtis Marcel.
Is Sleepy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, there.
All right. Mrs. R says good morning. Mo Gaines, Jennifer, Alistair Hart, Kenny and Harlem. Today is Mrs. R's birthday. Oh, her husband's birthday. Who husband? Your husband? Yeah, break, yeah. Let me get some new names. Josie Richardson, top of the morning. Dwayne Sylvester, Scorpion Pepper. Scorpions are the best. Miss me with wannabe Librans. You are the wannabe Librans, especially Ole who come right after, like CJ and Richard and Dr. Ole. Who else is new? Tawash is also new. That's from Riparian. I'm not sure what that person is typing there, no?
Who is that? Kawash? Is that Calypsonian Kawash? Kawash,
T-A. Tawash. I'm not
Tawash.
understanding what they type in there. Michael Cadet says happy birthday to the twins. Felix Gazo, welcome to Scorpio season. Where is a new name? Slemba 97, that's a new name. Andre Reno says good morning. Diana Hamill also says good morning. Lester Cragwell, and that's it.
All right, we have a lot of people inside this morning. So let me say good morning to Brenda out there in Penal, and she's sending out birthday greetings to her daughter-in-law, Rachel Thomas, who's celebrating her birthday. It's nice when mother-in-laws can say happy birthday to their daughter-in-laws and stuff, right? It's to Suzette and Suzanne. Happy birthday. Yes, and good morning to you. To Kent in Laventil, good morning. Terry Ann Peters in Mover, morning. Archbishop Ashton Clark and the Canada people, good morning to Nicole out there in Canada also. Colin in Caranage, Zena out there in Arima, Mr. Beeps in Pity Valley, Brenda in Penal, Mahi, who is out there in New Jersey this morning, Mr. Billy in Powder Magazine, good day to you. Captain Ron in Orlando, and Debbie Modest, good morning. Debbie said that she couldn't get up yesterday, Wendell. She drank the whole bottle of wine. Debbie was spaced out. Good morning to you people. That bottle of wine, it was real good. All right. Thank you very much. And to all the persons on Gaia, we wish you guys a good morning. And of course, my girl Shabin, who is relaxing today, is sending out greetings to Suzette and Suzanne. Okay?
All right. All right, so we could go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll get into newspapers and some of your calls.
Yep.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Pay $1 down on hire purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
CLR is your turn. The Roadie Lovers Comedy Show is coming to the east. Cipriani Lebacolet.
One show only. Sunday the 2nd of November, 6:30 p.m. baby.
Tickets available at Electronics Arima, Dorman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral, Val Park, Gate Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, West Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Chaguanas, and C3 Center Mall, San Fernando, and IslandEtickets.com. For more info, call 683-0356. Eastside, are you ready to laugh? Well, clock yet.
The public is demanding it, so the laughter continues. Your Dolly Foul to Watch Corn is now at Central Bank Auditorium for 2 nights only. Saturday, October 25th at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday, October 26th at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss the play that some say is the funniest of all time. Tickets available now online and at the usual outlets. And from Monday, October 20th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily at the Central Bank box office. Your Dolly Foul to Watch Corn has been matching up audiences.
You know, there's a saying, right? It's better to keep your mouth shut and let people think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. A word to the wise.
Yeah, leave it right there. Leave it right there.
Or the Trinidad and Tobago what?
Definitely not for you.
There's a chance.
Definitely not for Richard.
And it's not for Sir Charles either.
I sip my coffee and mind my business.
But I saw some clippings of yesterday's Parliament, the Standing Finance Committee, what they call in the SFC. And boy, oh boy, I don't know. Maybe just we knew what we were in for. I mean, it was programmed and telegraphed long time ago. There's some people like sometimes when we too are out of our depth here, we just hush. We say nothing. And we let somebody else take the lead. In certain circumstances, we do it to one another. We've done it to one another for years. But the Standing Finance Committee yesterday in the Parliament exposed a lot of chinks, weaknesses, strengths, and it's probably why the debate ended as early as it ended. I'll say no more on that for now, right? When we speak with Opposition Leader Penelope Beckles-Robinson in the next hour, we'll get into a little more of that. And I want to also tell people that Richard and I have been on radio, well, as Sir Charles, but Richard and I in particular in the talk show segment, over 20 years now, which means we spanned Patrick Manning PNM, Kamala Prasad Bisesa People's Partnership, Dr. Rowley's PNM, and now Kamala Prasad Bisesa's UNC. Right? I think we also
Mr. Manning?
No, yeah, we did Mr. Manning. So Manning's PNM, Kamala Prasad Bisesa. Basdeo Pandey also.
Of course, we did Manning, Sir Charles. You were there when he did the infamous bolting into Boom.
On Saturday.
Yes, I was.
He come inside Boom, full entourage in the street. Because a news reporter had said something, commented on the news. And he came to give advice. Of course, it was all taken in a big dramatic way, right? But anyway, we did all that and we critiqued all the governments. So for people to say, give this government a chance, no, that's what we do. That's our job. We praise when praise is due and we critique when critique is due. That's what we do. We inform when information is not available or when information is available. But we do a lot of entertaining too. We have taken on the slant, as no other show have done, to make sure that you laugh on a morning, even with these very serious issues. We afford you a laugh. You understand? Because it is stressful living in Trinidad and Tobago as it is living in most other parts of the globe. So we try to take a particular slant on certain things to ensure that you at least smile. Okay?
What is the lecture you're giving?
Yeah. Who you trying to do?
What is the lecture about?
People who know who need to hear it. Who need to hear it.
You're talking in tongues this morning. You're talking in tongues.
It's for people who need to hear it, right?
We are all pretty opinionated on this show, as we should be, because what else we doing here? So I don't understand. People know we are opinionated. Sometimes we will agree. Sometimes we disagree with each other.
Yes.
In terms of how we see stuff.
Yes.
So it's just part of the course. Yeah. Democracy doesn't mean everybody had to agree, So
you just adding, you just embellishing what I was saying.
Yeah,
headlines, get headlines.
All right, headlines. Express today.
For 2025 or 2026 or what?
I noticed go back to the Zeno, that's an old song.
Venezuelan Vice President Titi will pay for every molecule of Venezuelan gas. And she went on further to say the current Prime Minister is leading Trinidad and Tobago over a cliff. Some strong words coming from Delcy Rodriguez. Another U.S. strike kills 2 in the Pacific. Beckles calls on acting president to stop CJ appointment. Of course, you now know that didn't happen. Justice Ronnie Budusing was appointed as Chief Justice. New Chief Justice Ronnie Budusing takes office. That's also in the news. And tourists are woken by intruder during villa burglary in Bonaccord. All right, that's all trending Daily Express. Right? That's
Imagine that. And they say you could still leave your door open in Tobago.
When no man, long time.
All they want Tobago and still feel like leave all the door open and go and sleep. It's Trinidadians in Tobago now, you know. I remember Spangalang said that, you know, he said the problem with Tobago is Trinidad. It's Trinidadians in Tobago, eh? So they go ahead and leave all the door.
Yeah. You think?
All right, so let me get to you finish the Express, right, Wendell?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so let me get to the Newsday. The Newsday this morning, the trending stories in the Newsday today. Alexander buffs Scotland over secret drones. Secret is in inverted commas. I don't know what that is about. Padoras, no plan to fire WASA workers. Well, that's good news. I mean, you know, you wouldn't want anybody to lose their job.
Well, they can't afford to fire nobody again, you know. Trinidad ain't gonna be working.
No. I remember there have always been talk that WASA had been people and stuff, and I don't know if the transformation plan under the previous government envisaged some of the workers going home. But of course, this government has said they have done away with that transformation plan. And the minister is now saying that nobody is going to go home from WASA. So, I mean, that's good news for WASA workers. So, I mean, people not having to lose their job is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Homeland Security Minister, police will lease, buy vehicles. Okay, I'm not too sure. Whoever is raising the headlines for these stories, do a better job now. And quarry operator seeks return of seized property, and PNM and UNC wrangle over new ministry being in a mess. All of that is in inverted commas in terms of story, that particular story. New Chief Justice Ronnie Boodoo Singh, and of course a big congratulations to Justice Boodoo Singh again. And we rally appointed Carib managing director, and that's an old story.
No, that's it.
And Delcy TP economy would collapse without Venezuela gas.
Yes,
saying, I think el vicepresidente está siendo dramático.
I think the Venezuelan, she's
being very dramatic.
Finance in Trinidad and Tobago. They'll see take over Tanko.
She's being very dramatic. You know, so you know.
All right, you all want to finish the newspapers today?
Well, it's a charge, you know, he laughing and giggling in the back, but it's his turn to do the Guardian.
All right, okay. There's a very sad story in the Guardian about a former Shiva Boy student. He seeks help in the battle with leukemia. I just want to live. 21-year-old Dinesh Gajaraj. All right, it's a sad thing when you tell yourself you're just going about doing your business and boom, you just get the word like that. Of course, Ronnie Boodoo Singh is TNT's 9th Chief Justice. Foreign policy under scrutiny as TNT aligns with U.S. on Bolivia. Aunt of Trini killed in the U.S. strike pleads with Trump, stop killing innocent people. TNT must pay for drug and gas, warns Venezuelan VP. Young warns of revenue hit in Point Lisa's firm shutdown, and NATA steps in to represent Nutrient workers. And there's also one other story, you know, Nutrient gets temporary Point Lisa's access as NGC Wendell waives $28 million port fees. So isn't that?
So Nutrient is shutting down again.
Well, apart, you know, if they own 28 million and we need to get some more of that story, you know. Is all of this a threat so they want to pay?
I get that.
Yeah, boy. Hey, we need more information, please.
Yeah, we need more. The inside scoop on that is not very appealing.
Is he finished with the Guardian? Or is
yes, I am. So we're going to calls.
No, wait. Before you go to calls, I wanted to give a brief a biography of Ronnie Boodoo Singh because, you know, he's the new Chief Justice. So people should know that he's not a Johnny come lately if they're thinking that. He's not. So he does have, you know, stellar credentials for the post.
Okay, that's it.
So in 2020, Boodoo Singh, Justice Boodoo Singh was presented with his instrument of appointment as a Justice of Appeal. He was appointed puisne judge in September 2007 and has presided in both the criminal and civil courts. He was admitted to practice as an attorney in October 1992, and on being admitted, he practiced as an advocate in the firm of J.D. Celia and Company. He then moved to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, where he spent 7 years at various jurisdictional levels. In 2001, he became a lecturer at the Hewarding Law School, where he was the director of the Trial Advocacy Program and taught ethics, among other courses. He also started the Human Rights Law Clinic. Boodoo Singh has conducted numerous training programs for lawyers, law students, police officers and immigration officers, court personnel, and school teachers, among others. He is the holder of a Master of Laws degree, specializing in international dispute resolution from the University of London, and is certified as an adult education trainer by the University of the West Indies, an advocacy trainer by Gray's Inn, and a judicial education trainer by the University College of London. He continues to tutor to the Trial Advocacy Program at the UWI Law Faculty and is the author of 4 books, including a textbook on trial advocacy. Justice Boodoo Singh has also been trained in settlement conferencing and mediation and has conducted judicial settlement conferences. So that's just a bit of the pedigree of Justice Boodoo Singh in terms of his position in the post. So, I mean, I'm very qualified to be in that position. And so that we just wanted to make that clear.
Did you say an adult education trainer?
Yeah.
You might want to help some of the parliamentary.
Oh, my word. But I hope coming in also that he's good at clearing backlogs and speeding up cases.
The backlog of cases is not solely the province of the Chief Justice, you know, Sir Charles. It's much more complex.
No, I understand that, but somebody had to start to untangle that web, right?
Yeah, but do you think the previous Chief Justice weren't trying to untangle it?
I don't know.
That's the assumption I have to make from your statement.
Hey,
is Sir Charles attacking the former Chief Justice?
I am not. Hey, what are you going to say? Look, people, let's take your calls at 281-1315. Save me from these guys here this morning. 299-5156. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Charles, Richard Wendell.
Morning, caller.
I don't know any of you all. Well, Wendell, you said you looked at this, but yesterday in Parliament, the Homeland Minister, it was a pathetic performance. I don't know if they sat down with him before and go through the procedure of the Standing Finance Committee. But even the Commissioner of Police who sat next to him was like, he was in awe, he was ashamed, he bowed his head and put the cap far down over his face.
So what it is that happened?
When asked questions about increase or decrease in allocation or asked for an opinion, especially when they were speaking about your buying and your leasing, and his response to these things were, you know, that is strategy. That is strategy, a using strategy. Until the opposition started making fun of them, when they asked questions, they preempted the answer as strategy, strategy. It was pathetic. And I find as a political party, you should look for candidates who can represent the interests of the population.
Hold on, guys. I want to come.
Hold on, caller. Hold on 1 minute, caller.
The thing about it is that you represent in the country. He can't go outside in an interview with anybody. I would be ashamed of his performance.
Thanks, Paul.
Okay, no problem.
You know,
I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that.
Let me come, guys, to the defense of the Minister of Homeland Security.
Yeah.
You know why? Because a lot of us have our strengths and our weaknesses. We would have seen the Minister of Homeland Security in his capacity as a senior police officer hosting a program on television for years. He was the face and voice of the TTPS, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We saw him, we heard him, we knew his strengths, we knew his weaknesses. He then resigned and went into politics. We saw him, we heard him, we knew his strengths and weaknesses. He was resoundingly elected by the people of Tunapuna. We saw him, we heard him, we knew his strengths and weaknesses. He became a minister in the government. We saw him, we heard him, we knew his strengths and weaknesses. That's what you're going to get. As Minister Scotland said, Mr. Scotland said, you're not going to get any better than this. Whether he's doing it purposely or he is just out of his depth, we will never know. But this is who you have in office. Live with it.
But the other part of it also, Wendell, is that, we don't know what he may be able to do with his ministry going down the road they've just started. So do we want eloquent speakers, or do we want people who could probably balance it, both the speaking and doing their job properly? What it is that we really want? Do we want a nice, fluent, eloquent, articulate speaker who can do the work?
Right. So that's what I said. We know him. We know his strengths and weaknesses. How he does his job. Let's put it this way. Maybe in a previous government, somebody like that would have never seen the light of day as a minister.
Yeah, and the work would have never get done.
Certainly under Patrick Manning, he was never seen the light.
You understand?
You understand?
Yeah.
So we don't know how if he will do the work, because the minister, his job, and I was saying this since previous ministers, since one who I know personally passed away, is the hardest job in the government. His job is the hardest job in the government. How he does it down the road, I don't know. Maybe he will be a total failure, or maybe he will be something. Maybe,
you understand? You know? But still, people should make fun of people because they have a little lisp on the way that they speak and that sort of thing. I find that is not a good thing. Yeah. But Kola, good morning to you. Welcome.
As I said earlier on, it's better to keep your mouth shut sometimes and let people think you're a fool than to open it and remove all doubt. That's the basis of my statement earlier on.
Come, let's go. Virginia, let's go. We're running out of time.
Good morning. Good morning.
Wendell, talk out your time.
Gentlemen. Yeah, you see, boy, Wendell, you over that, eh? Hey, the best, the brightest, and the most honest is not always elected. Just keep that in mind. Richard, I want to thank you very much for giving the data and the background into the prospective Chief Justice, because it's not what you say, but how you say it. Not you, but I'm talking about the way and how everything was done. People would jump up and say, hey, is a UNC Chief Justice, or just if it was a PNM did the same thing, is a PNM Chief Justice. So, but he's qualified for the job, but let's just wait and see. Hey, they're in charge right now, okay? So that's my 2 cents on that. I'll leave the rest for tomorrow. Anyway, have a good day. Cheers. Bye.
All right. Our poll is up, people. Do you think the Chief Justice should explain why he suddenly vacated office?
You should say the former Chief Justice. Former Chief Justice.
Yeah, we'll correct that.
Yeah, correct it now. Former Chief Justice.
Oh, God, I'll correct it when the news up there. Wendell.
I think though, the some of the government ministers are clearly lacking in how they are presenting themselves before the thing. Even Minister Khadija Amin got it wrong, and the speaker with insurances on vehicles. State vehicles are not insured. They've never been, not as far as I remember.
No, they're not.
They've never been insured. And I don't know how they don't know that. I mean, 20 years ago, I found that out. When the Port Corporation vehicles are not insured, you get claims on them when they do the strippiness. You understand?
The state has to pay the claim. That's generally what happens.
Yeah. Yes.
Caller, very quickly, 30 seconds.
Yeah, gentlemen, morning. So, Charles, all the time I've been calling the program, would you see my performance before the Standing Finance Committee being as pathetic as what we saw yesterday?
I didn't see the
well,
thing
perhaps
yesterday.
you need to see it. And about the Justice Budusing thing, right? What is dangerous about the gentleman is this. You have an acting president who has all the powers of the president to appoint people. But the acting president is the Senate of the president, is the president of the Senate normally. The president went through the full appointment cycle, electoral college and all of that. So and this is the flaw in the system that we have. She was elected. The acting president was selected and appointed because she leaves the country when he or she must. So this is the problem and the danger with having an acting president overstepping his bounds. You ought to know what you could do and what you should not do as an acting president. And this was overreach by the acting president and the government, but I'm not surprised. It's Section 34 all over again. Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Yeah, that happened also under an acting president. The granting of immunity to the attempted coup makers also happened under an acting president.
Yeah, but what should we do when the president go on out? We shouldn't have no acting president. I only tell them they could do certain things. If the Constitution allows the president to do that,
no, we're not arguing that, Charles. That's not the
argument. That is what he's saying. That
no,
you should,
that's not the point he made.
or not.
No, that's not the point he made.
No, but if you're acting president, you have the powers of the president. So,
yeah.
So
that is it. If the Constitution allows you to act in a particular way, when the president is away, if no law is being broken.
No. I don't think that was the argument. We cleared that up very early this morning. No law was broken.
Now we may not be in favor of the timing and how it happened, but I get the feeling from the caller is that that you should know your place, and the Constitution does not say that.
It could have been deferred, and an action appointment made. That's Richard also made that point earlier on too. You understand? Yeah. All right. So we are a little late for
news. We're going to the news and come back.
We have the poll.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
You're listening to News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean, keeping you informed and connected. I'm Derek. Good day. Appeal Court Judge Ronnie Budusing is now the new Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago. He was officially sworn in on Wednesday afternoon during a ceremony at President's House in St. Anne's, Port of Spain, presided over by Acting President Wade Mark, who is serving while President Christine Kangaloo is on vacation abroad. Justice Budusing's legal career spans more than 3 decades, with experience in both civil and criminal courts. He was first appointed a Poisne judge in 2007 and later elevated to the Court of Appeal in 2020. Before joining the bench, he worked at J.D. Sellier and Company, then spent 7 years as a prosecutor in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. He also lectured at the Hugh Wooding Law School, where he led the Trial Advocacy Program and founded the Human Rights Law Clinic. Justice Budusing is a published author of 4 books, including a textbook on trial advocacy, and continues to train lawyers and students across the region. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on Acting President Wade Mark to halt any attempt to appoint a new Chief Justice, saying the proper constitutional process has not been followed. In a letter sent Wednesday, Beckles urged that Justice of Appeal Prakash Musai be appointed to act instead, arguing that her office was not given enough time or information to properly consult on the decision. She said Acting President Mark's correspondence referenced both acting and substantive appointments under 2 different sections of the Constitution, and one letter gave her just an hour to respond before the post became vacant. Beckles stressed that meaningful consultation is vital to protecting judicial independence and the country's democracy. President of the Assembly of Southern Lawyers, Attorney Syra Lacan, says she fears for her safety after a second firebomb attack on her San Fernando law office. The incident happened around 3:30 a.m. on October 22nd, when someone climbed her perimeter fence and placed 2 Molotov cocktails, one at the front door and another near an electrical panel. The flames went out on their own, causing only minor damage. Lacan says this is the second attack in less than a month and believes she's being watched. She's urging swift police action before there's another attempt. Former government minister and attorney Prakash Ramadar condemned the attack, calling it a direct threat to the rule of law, while police say investigations are ongoing. Businessman Danny Guerra and 14 others have appeared in court charged with unlawfully processing aggregate without a license from the Ministry of Energy. Guerra, 50, of Sangre Grande, owner of DG Homes and manager of D. Guerra Limited, was arrested during a major police operation on October 9th that shut down an alleged illegal quarry in Manuel Congo, Guanapo. Police seized a multi-million-dollar wash plant, trucks, and excavators during the raid. Each accused was granted $50,000 bail, though 3 foreign nationals remain in custody. The court has ordered police to provide partial disclosure by October 24th, as testing of materials from the site continues. Attorneys for Guerra and others have applied for the release of their seized equipment, while investigations are ongoing. In the region, Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is warning that the United States is deceiving Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Dessessar over the new license to explore the Dragon gas field. Speaking at a business forum in Caracas, Rodriguez insisted that Trinidad and Tobago must pay for Venezuela's gas, saying, "Any molecule exported has to be paid for. That's international cooperation." She cautioned that the Prime Minister was being misled by U.S. officials, claiming it's not Marco Rubio who will give you the gas, it's Venezuela. Rodriguez also issued a veiled threat, saying TANT's economy could collapse if Caracas does not finalize a deal with Port of Spain. Her comments follow Prasad-Dessessar's recent U.S. trip, where Senator Marco Rubio assured her of a new license from Washington, allowing TANT to proceed with the Dragon gas project, as long as the Maduro regime does not benefit. In international news, the United States has imposed new sanctions on Russia's 2 biggest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, in a fresh bid to pressure Moscow into ending the war in Ukraine. President Donald Trump announced the move after meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, calling the sanctions tremendous and saying he hopes they'll push Russia toward peace. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the sanctions target the war machine, funding President Vladimir Putin's invasion, warning that further action could follow. The move came just a day after Trump shelved a planned meeting with Putin in Budapest, following renewed Russian strikes that killed at least 7 people, including children. The UK has already taken similar action, targeting the same oil giants last week. Together, Rosneft and Lukoil account for nearly 6% of global oil output. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Morning vibes, fresh energy. This is the Net Radio Breakfast Show.
say to me they want a musical change in pan. Well, I didn't tell them yes, but I didn't tell them no. I say, well, gentlemen, I'm gonna do the best I can. As long as you challenge me, well, I'm going to have a go. They all indicated that they were getting bored, and they will appreciate something new. So I thought it best to change to the minor chord to see really who is who. Big band. Who play on the tenor? Big band. Bringing out the minor. Big band. What come the professor? Big band. To add to the fire. Big band. Calling on Bradley. Big band. To challenge Beverly. Big band. Which means Desperado. Big band. Go answer Tokyo. You go hear pan in A minor. With them steel band from all over. You're gonna hear them on the battle, they'll be going through a test. You're gonna hear them on the pass, burn in the grass. Big band, big band, big band, big band. And I started to create. I know how to prove to them I have the ability. I dare and then decide the minor should dominate. If not entirely, for most of the melody. You notice the chorus carries a simple hook from the 7 to A minor. It's really designed to give you a strange new look on the road to Panorama. Big band. They tell me carefully, big band. Preparing already, big band. But something just tell me, big band. And very not easy, big band. No one ever mentioned, big band. The strength of Blue Diamond, big band. Forgetting that Sando, big band. Would upset the whole show. You go hear pan in A minor with them steel band from all over. You're gonna hear them at the battle, they'll be going through a test. You're gonna hear them at the path, burning the grass.
Things just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show. Fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
And of course, yes, you are tuned into New Era TT Radio. Welcome inside the second hour of the Breakfast Show. Net Radio it is, and we are happy to be in your company. Happy that you can make it this morning. And thank you so much for getting up with us. Of course, we want to say a very special good morning to the folks out there at Gael Caribbean, because we are streaming on Gael Caribbean right now. Good morning to the folks out there in Grenada and other areas of the Caribbean who are locked in and taking us in this morning, all right?
I want the boys to know the Grandmaster will.
Coming up after 8 o'clock, just at around 8:30. Remember, we stream all day, every day at newerattradio.com. And New Era TT Radio, so you can get us on your Alexa and Google devices, and we are also on TuneIn. So when we come off of the Gael field at around 20 past the hour of 8 o'clock, you can listen to us on New Era TT Radio. Coming up at 8:30 this morning, we have David Abdullah with their Tuesday Talk, and of course they look at the budget. So we will be bringing that to you just at around 8:30 before the mid-morning mix and mingle, yeah? So continue to vote on the poll.
Destroy it tomorrow.
Yeah, do you think that the former Chief Justice should explain why he suddenly vacated his office, okay? So remember, yes or no first, and then put in your comments if you need to, right? But we will be back, so stay right where you are.
Don't miss Furniture Plus Inventory Blowout Sale. Get up to 65% off in-store and online. Enjoy massive savings on furniture, appliances, and more. Hurry, this deal won't last. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop. Located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davantry tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
The public is demanding it, so the laughter continues. Your Don't Found to Watch Corn is now at Central Bank Auditorium for 2 nights only. Saturday, October 25th at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday, October 26th at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss the play that some say is the funniest of all time. Tickets available now online and at the usual outlets. And from Monday, October 20th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily at the Central Bank box office. Your Don't Found to Watch Corn has been matching up audiences.
Of course, we're back and we are just about to give you the poll results, assuming that my co-host joined me to give me the results to record. Oh, there they are.
I'm trying to get coffee at the same time. I do my coffee at 7. I know you do yours at 6. I do mine mostly at 7. All right. You ready?
Absolutely. Producer Charles wants to bring back up the
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I saw it just now. What's this? Do you think the former Chief Justice should explain why he suddenly vacated office? Right? That's it. Hey, look at it. I got it correct. And it didn't.
Could you just get the results, please?
It didn't take mostly half.
You see why this must get also. This is not Parliament, you know, right?
Alexander is going to be entertainment for the next how much ever years he there. Yes, he's going to be entertainment. DL says no. Marcia Rock says yes. Debbie Mitchell didn't vote. Mrs. DK says yes. DKB that is says yes. Alistair Hart says yes. Debbie Mitchell says yes. Esther Lita Sampson no. Michael Cadet yes. Apollonius, and they laugh at I don't know why, how they didn't know that what Brian Manning was saying was true. Susan Jessup says no. Old lady didn't vote. David McCarthy yes. Susan Jessup no. Crystal Stevenson yes. Helen Prescott no. Florence Bazzi no. Let the esteemed CJ leave this hellhole. Is sure right, yes. Florence, I support that. He will be saying, look, to hell with all I gone. Claire Lenda Rollins, no. Ava Smith, no. Ambrose Blood didn't vote there. DL Che voted already. What a chat. No. Beauty Culture says no. Bernadette Yates, no. Katian Townsend. Is that a vote, Katian? I'm not sure. It said yes. You all have a well listened to program. I'm not sure if we're voting yes, Katian. Scorpion Pepper, no to the poll. Margaret Thomas, no. CJ from New York, no. Carla Hercules, yes. Colted Finch, no. Joseph Clement, no. Rena Jennings, no. Michael Robinson, no. Carol Guevara, no. Ava Smith, Mr. Archie explained why he retired. No, he didn't. He just explained that he was going to retire. Jason Samuel, no. Votes. Robert Taylor, no. Michael Oliver, no. Miles Walcott, morning Miles, no. Lester Cragwell, no. Derek Duncan, no. Ingrid Tucson, no. Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona, sorry, no. Victor Thongs, yes, he should. Trini Merle Kitchen, yes. Finbar Collins, yes. GH, yes. Sherma Paul, yes. Joyce Phillip, yes. Marlene Watson, yes. Sean Sokoff, okay. Sean, give you a breakdown. Miguel Gonzalez, no. Paul Bentham, yes. Jude Khan, no. Elizabeth, no. Rhea Sampson, no. And that's it for the votes I have here.
All right. So coming down to the WhatsApp, we have Captain Ron saying yes, Pauline saying yes, Mahi saying yes, Brenda saying yes, Raymond saying yes, Fifi saying yes, Sean Ram saying yes, Debbie didn't vote, Debbie still drinking wine, Miss Sampson didn't vote, Mr. Biddy said yes. Who is this here now? Fred did no vote from Fred. Horatio says yes. Zena says hell no. Sexy Red says yes. Slick Money Grip says no. Sandra Seret says no. And Anand says yes. Yeah, exactly. This poll looking kind of close.
I have two more votes. Elizabeth, who is Suzette Jessup, says no. And Lyndon says yes.
Yeah, this poll looking like it neck and neck. Run into the wire here, Wendell.
Based on how we called it out, yes, it sounds like a close poll.
All right, so of course we have the leader of the opposition on standby waiting to enter the studio. So I'll give the results rapidly. Do you think that the former CJ should explain why he suddenly vacated office? We had 72 people voting on the poll this morning. And
one more. I can put one more. Anyhow, go ahead. Let me leave it there. Go ahead. Go ahead.
72 persons, 43 of you said no. You do not believe that the former CJ should explain why he suddenly vacated his office. And 29 of you said yes. So 43 said no, 29 said yes, for a total of 72 people voting on the poll this morning in the allotted time. Of course, the nays have it in terms of the majority, even though the yeses.
We almost break the poll today, Wendell.
Well, we equal the record.
Yeah. If Ms. Sampson had voted earlier, I don't know why she didn't until the end of the poll. Ms. Sampson didn't get your vote. Sorry.
That's it for our poll results this morning. That's it. It's now at an end. Okay. And now we go straight into our interview with the leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition, Penelope Beckles-Robinson. Good morning, Penelope Beckles-Robinson. We appreciate you
morning.
This morning.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the breakfast show again.
Yes. What you all had for breakfast?
I still have in mine.
I had a cup of coffee. Coffee so far.
I
still have in my coffee, honorable politically.
And I'm still trying to make up my mind.
Okay.
It's nice to see you, man. You see, you're all set for work.
Well, yes, we're starting at 10 o'clock, but I have several things between now and then. I'm in my office.
You know, I always remember it was a while back that we had an interview with you, and you were giving us, not on this platform where we were before, and you were giving us a rundown as to how early and MP Day starts and all the other things that you have to do. So, and that, I always remember that, the kind of workload that you people move around with. So thank you very much for being with us
nothing
this
has
morning.
changed. It's really, starting from being a lawyer. So once you're in private practice, you have your own business. Yes. Yeah. So that just kind of continued.
Well, I guess we could start off with asking you the poll this morning. You'll be officially our 73rd poll star this morning. Poller, do you think that the former Chief Justice should have explained why he suddenly vacated office?
If he should explain, well, having regard to the fact that I think I attended the opening of the law term, and he said he gave us a clear idea when he was going to resign. So, if he changed his mind, it must be for some reason.
Well, not in terms of him resigning.
Yeah.
We're talking about how he suddenly vacated. Because he did indicate that he was going to leave during this law term, right?
Yes.
But how he suddenly vacated office and resigned the following day. Do you think he should explain that? And especially when the substantive president is not in the country?
Yes, I think he should. And I am hoping at some point in time he probably gives us. He may have a very good reason. He may have a very
Were you surprised at the speed of his resignation?
Well, yes. As I said, I was there when he said he gave us an idea. He had a number of things to do before he completed his term. So yes, when I heard he resigned, yes, I was surprised.
Well, we are getting a correction here, and I support it. It's he retired, and not as opposed to resign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a correct terminology.
Yes.
Yeah, but the issue of he retired within a day. Basically, he gave the notice the day before, and to the entire public actually, because it was done in a formal manner as it should be. But of course, then we moved on to the appointment of the new Chief Justice, which also happened in rapid time. Take us through how that played out for you as the leader of the opposition, because there is a consultation requirement under the Constitution for you to be consulted for the Chief Justice. If you could take us through how that...
Well, I don't know if you had sight of my letter. If you don't, I will certainly submit it, because the letter actually, specifically goes through exactly what transpired. So I could just quickly say that it would have been on Tuesday evening around 6:30. I received a letter from the acting president. There was some errors in the letter. And on yesterday morning around 8:30, I received a second letter which sought to correct what existed in the letter that I got 6:30 the night before. And in essence, he indicated that he proposed to appoint the Chief Justice that evening. I pointed out to him, of course, the Constitution speaks of consultation. And the fact is that, if you, as a leader of the opposition, you are being asked to do what is one of the most important acts, I think, as a leader of the opposition. We understand the importance of a Chief Justice. Then you need time. You need to know, who are the possible persons, when are they going to retire? No resumes, no CVs, nothing is sent. So you're just asked to, and clearly, if that is done, so if I received what would have been the corrected letter at 8:30 that morning, because I was actually already in office when the police officer brought that letter for me, and you then propose to act in such a short space of time, which would literally be, 6 hours. Clearly. I don't think anybody anticipates that could be proper consultation.
Yeah. Under the Constitution, there is a constitutional shield, if you want to call it that, in terms of the issue of consultation and it being inquired into in court. So the issue is pretty much a fait accompli in terms of the legitimacy of Justice Budu Singh being the Chief Justice. Post the issue, do you have any issues with the credentials of Justice Budu Singh being the Chief Justice?
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody could have any issue with his credentials. That the issue is clearly cannot be his credentials. I mean, I think I've known him for a very long time. I myself am a lawyer now for some 37 years. So the issue has nothing to do with the credentials. It's strictly the issue of the process. I mean, and I think I need to make that abundantly clear.
Yeah. Is it that you see, are you reading it? Because you're also a seasoned politician. Are you reading the entire process as something of some sort of political maneuvering? Is that how you see it?
Well, let me just say this, because as you said, the fact that an appointment has taken place and the Chief Justice has sworn it, I am, of course, not going to be getting into too much discussions on the matter for obvious reasons. At this point in time, I will restrict what comments I have to saying that my objection is the process. I mean, the public looking on would be very clear, and I'm sure they would understand exactly what transpired. Because if it is that you will send a letter whilst I'm sitting in the Parliament during the Finance Committee at 6:30, and then you send another one at 8:30 in the morning, basically correcting errors of what transpired just 6:30, a few hours before, and then you act within, as I said, 4 to 6 hours, I'm sure the public would form their conclusion as to exactly what has transpired. And at this point in time, I wouldn't say anything more.
Yeah. You care to explain or tell us what may have been those errors in the first letter?
Well, I think the letters are in the public domain. When the first letter was written, it made reference, it was stipulated leader of the opposition. In the body of the letter, it made reference to consulting the Prime Minister.
Oh, they copy and paste the wrong letter to you then.
Aye.
That's all right.
I just wanted to get your sense as the leader of the opposition with regard. I just wanted to go back in time to last week, Friday, with the beginning of the debate and how the debate ended on Friday. We would have spoken to the chairman of the People's National Movement, Marvin Gonzalez, on the issue, and he said it was strategy on the part of the PNM in the sense that they had 5 speakers remaining to speak in terms of the budget, and of course the other side had quite a number. And after the member for, I believe, Claxton Bay had completed his remarks on the budget statement, he signaled to the leader of government business that they could continue, and because they wanted to save their 5 speakers to rebut the senior members, meaning the cabinet ministers, etc., rather than the backbenchers. I know you weren't present at the time. Were you privy to that being the strategy of your members in the House?
Okay, well, let me say we would have discussed this matter. I mean, I have been in Parliament, as you know, a very long time. And if you look at the numbers, I mean, the Honorable Camille Robinson-Reid is not in the Parliament at this time. She's not fully recovered. So there are 12 of us compared to 28. So when you get to 7 haven't spoken, the truth is that you have 21 persons still to speak, and the finance minister obviously is in wrapping up. So what is traditionally done, and even I would say the last budget, that you have 2 of the government and 1 of the opposition, so you have a balance. Sometimes it will be more than, but if it is that you continue with 1 government, 1 opposition, you understand that what would actually happen is they can have literally almost 17 persons speaking one after the other. I mean, that's not a debate.
Yeah.
So it is normally the expectation. I mean, that has happened over the years that, okay, so you put in two speakers and we put in one. I mean, sometimes it wouldn't always work that way because, I mean, as you know, the government will have their way eventually. But, you if you want a debate and you want the public to listen to who's responding, and at the end of our 5, you still have another 16 people to go one after the other one. I mean, that's not a debate.
Yeah.
So I have, as I said, I have been in the Senate, I've been in the House. And even when we were in government and you had the opposition at the time, that's really how the debate. I mean, sometimes you would recall that what happened last week is not unusual. It has happened. I mean, I've seen it happen on more than one occasion. But ideally, you really want a debate. And if you looked at what the government was doing, save and except Saddam Hussein, which is pretty senior now, they were putting either their junior ministers or parliamentary secretaries. And I mean, so if you go back, 7 of us haven't spoken. I mean, you didn't hear from, because the Attorney General was there. He was there. I mean, I'm sure he wasn't just there. So you didn't hear from Public Utilities, you didn't hear from the Minister of Works, you didn't hear from the Minister of Housing. I mean, a lot of the senior simply just didn't hear from Homeland Security, you didn't hear from the Minister of Defense, you didn't hear from the Minister of Education. All of them are right in the House.
Yeah, but obviously the government had a particular strategy in how they were doing it, in how they were rolling out the debate. But wouldn't it have been valuable for the citizenry to hear the contributions, particularly of Stuart Young as a former Minister of Energy, and Con Imber, who sat in that position as Minister of Finance for 9 years?
Of course, we agree that is the case. But I mean, if you are in opposition and you have 12 persons, I mean, you're talking about the opposition. But equally important would have been for the population to hear what the government had to say. So it's not just the opposition, it's also the government. And that's why it's called a debate.
Would you agree that in the past, Ms. Beckles-Robinson, that there was a collaboration between the chief whip and the speaker, not the speaker, the chief whip and the leader of government business to ensure that these things are, how I should put it, fleshed out prior? Is it that there is that lack of cohesion between the current chief whip and the current leader of the opposition?
Well, I wouldn't say there's a lack of cohesion, but it is definitely desirable that collaboration exists. Yeah. So that, because it's for the benefit of both government and opposition and the country. Yeah. If you have that kind of collaboration, but you would have seen as well that you speak of their strategy, that at the end, I was sent to the Privileges Committee. So if you talk about strategy, I mean, you ask yourself, where did that come from? I mean, because I'm there, of course, I don't, having been sent there, I am not going to say anything much. But I maintain my position that I would not be muzzled, and I would not be, they are not going to stop me from saying what I have to say. But I'm sure you understand what is the scenario when you're sent to the Privileges Committee.
Well, as you raise that,
one minute, just before we actually go there, because I just want to, with this whole the situation with not responding at the end of the budget debate, is it that also, just as Richard talked about, it would have been important for us to hear from these individuals. So is it that the opposition was only prepared to let those individuals speak in the capacity of responding for government in the debate, or why is it that himself they were not able to respond after the finance minister or after the energy minister because of numbers, that they could not have just presented what the government would have the opposition would have wanted to put out, so the population, because recognizing that you don't have that one in, one out situation, there is no collaboration taking place between the chief whip and the other individual, all those things. Wasn't it important, as I say, for these individuals to speak still and just get out what?
No, but I just answered that question. Yeah, I said, of course, it was important. But if you are in the parliament, in the heat of all of this that is going on, it's easy to say that. right? So it isn't that. And then, of course, Stanku got up. So, I mean, our expectations, as I said, if you have 5 left and, they basically still have, almost 20 plus speakers, or it's less than 20. No, I think about 20. If you talk about collaboration, that's what collaboration is. But in the heat of what transpires in these matters, yes, when you look back, you could say, yes, this is how it should have been, this is how it should have been, but it's not always that way.
Yeah, I know you would have just answered that. So just a touch, as you touched on the issue of the Privileges Committee, was it based on a matter that happened in the Parliament or outside of the Parliament?
No,
and how is it?
Sure, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so and how is it possible to send, because Mr. Gonzalez would have explained to us on Monday how the process took place, right? That you weren't there and that the deputy speaker was in the chair and she had said that a report came to her as opposed to the motion being raised on the floor. How?
No, I was present when she read it. I was in the house. I mean, as I said, you must recognize that where this has reached, I have to restrict myself in terms of what I say. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you understand the whole issue of how the Privileges Committee works.
Yes.
Now, so that the speaker left the chair and the deputy speaker came for the first time in all of these months. The deputy speaker presided and then indicated that she had received, a document amounting to a complaint from the leader of government business, and she read that and she proceeded to rule at the same time.
But it was not based on something that happened in the Parliament.
No, this was based on, she indicated that something on the letterhead of the leader of the opposition in reference to the speaker. So nothing that happened in the Parliament, no.
Oh, is that allowed under the Privileges Committee?
No, you see, as I said, you're asking me to comment on things that I hope not to be commenting on. And I hope you understand.
Because they can be sent again now based on the show.
Well, I mean, clearly.
But Ms. Beckles, the issue of, I want to get down to the relationship between the PNM and the UNC, because a lot of the times to the citizens watching on, it seems as if the relationship is hostile. It's not collaborative. And I remember when you ascended to the position of leader of the opposition, and we had you on. I think we were your first interview actually. You indicated that you wanted to have a collaborative approach. If it was good law, you would be collaborative and pass good law. But if it was bad, you would object to it on the grounds of whatever objections the People's National Movement had concerning the law. As the relationship continues over the past 6 months plus, is the perception, trying to word it carefully, is the perception that the relationship is frayed at best and hostile at worst accurate? Or is there a lot of collaboration that still takes place behind the scenes?
No, I would not say that it is hostile. I mean, in the thrust of politics, you can have a lot of what you see. Ideally for me, because it's 6 months, the expectation is that you're going to have better working relationships. I mean, the budget, for example, is not, over the years, when you look at the budget debate, it sometimes will appear to be hostile if you look at what's happening in the Finance Committee, because that is the time when you are literally going through what the government has promised. I mean, this is right after a campaign. This is right after April. So obviously you still have those issues there almost, which is why I made the comment, even in my contribution, in my budget response, that we need the campaigning has to stop. So you have to move from the campaigning now to the issue of governance. But it's not as though you just turn off a switch, right? So we have to both work towards that issue of collaboration, which I know that is what the public wants. The public ideally wants to see at the end of the day, yes, I remember Mr. Pandey saying, I mean, I have been a deputy speaker that, the government will have their way, but the opposition will have their say. So,
Yeah.
and it's how you do that. And like every other country in the world, people do want, because now that you have technology and these things, people can look at it anytime during the day. So, you think about the young people. And from time to time, when I go to schools and other places, and you discuss with the young people, do you want to be a politician? I would tell you almost, for my entire career, it's almost about 95% of them say no. So we too have a responsibility that we recognize that people are looking on, young people are looking on, and they form certain opinions, and that translates into sometimes voter apathy and how people perceive politicians. And ultimately, why sometimes we're not able to address certain matters in the way in which the public feels that it should be addressed.
Now, I had pointed out to Mr. Gonzalez on Monday, of course, that I believe that the strategy of the government was not to end the debate and not to engage in a debate with the PNM. But clearly they didn't cater for the Standing Finance Committee, where now we are seeing where they are being exposed in terms of their lack of knowledge and maybe lack of sincerity, for want of a better word, in terms of what is coming out to the public. One of the issues that's coming out is the issue of this employment drive and how they are going about it. And even Minister in Tertiary Education was a bit exposed yesterday in terms that it's a new ministry. So where is the employment drive in a particular ministry like that? How would you respond to, how would you explain this employment drive that the government is on?
Well, one of the interesting things about the difference between the budget debate and the finance committee is precisely that. People say, oh, you should talk and talk, but it's really at the finance committee stage. Because you can get up in a budget debate speaking for 45, 50, 60 minutes, 55 minutes, and people listen to you and you song excellent, as was the case with the Minister of Finance when everybody said, oh, great budget, until you start to go through the finance committee. And the finance committee is where you have to account. Look how many ministries have no allocation for employment. Absolutely none. How do you account for that? And you talk about having an unemployment fund. Now you're saying I was able to get the minister to admit that they are closing down URP, you're closing down CPEP. There is no alternative. And everybody that you ask, you're having employment, employ TT. Where is the allocation in your ministry for the employment of these 25,000 people? Up to now, nobody can show you any allocation. It's just like the 10% that they boasted about, and now you found out, as I said earlier, that all you're doing is negotiating, and there is no allocation there for the 10%. And when you go through in every single ministry, whether it be the NIS, if you look today in the papers, you would see that the Prisons Association is in total shock. That you really retiring at 55. And in 2028, you have to wait 61. It's only at that stage, really. So I think people are now understanding that, yes, we should have spoken. Yes, the government should have spoken. But I have not, in my years in politics, have seen so much interest as I have seen in the finance committee, because that really is the explanation as to whether or not what the government told you when they spoke, and all the several ministers, it's only at that time you can go through it and see yes, no, truth, false.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up 2 points.
Sure.
One, the issue of WASA. I know the Minister of Public Utilities, because I think WASA got $94 million less for recurrent, and he was very clear that would not translate into a loss of jobs. I believe you were Minister of Public Utilities at one point.
Yes.
$94 million less in your recurrent is substantial. And would he be correct in saying that there will be no loss of jobs if you have 94 million less in your recurrent?
Again, Richard, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, so it comes back to wait. Well, if you are following the beat, every single minister said, if the money isn't enough, midterm. Every single one. So midterm review. So it means that then everything collapses. Because you're borrowing $19 million, you're claiming that your deficit is just about 3 point something, and then you have a debt of 5. So at the end of the day, the numbers simply do not add up. So to lose 94 million, to say no job loss, like in many other ministries, no job loss, but I mean, it comes back to what they had said earlier on. Everybody wins. So CPEP is gone, URP is gone, reforestation is gone. I mean, then they said no contract officers. Now they said permanent. So, I mean, which of all of this? And then you're having this situation where you're going to employ 25,000 people. But I mean, how many people went home? So which really is it?
Yeah. And my second question, wait, just a second, Wendell. The second question is, when we had Minister Tanku on last week, I brought up the issue of the $9 million reduction to the Arima Borough Council. And of course, you're the MP for Arima. And I have not, I may have missed it, I have not heard the mayor or the Arima Borough Council themselves issue any formal objection or reply to it. I objected on their behalf of the Minister of Finance when we had him. I said, I'm an Arimian, and why would Arima get the biggest cut of $9 million in terms of the expenditure? And I advocated that it should be changed. And even if you're cutting it, the cut should not be that substantive. The Minister of Finance may take me on or not, probably not, but I did advocate for it. As the MP for Arima, are you concerned about that? Because that
very concerned. Yeah, very, very, very concerned. And yes, we are talking about Arima. You live in Arima. I am the MP. But you would realize that every single corporation has been cut. I mean, I went through and cut substantially. I mean, in some cases, as much as $14 million. And, I am going to meet with the council, with the mayor and council as it relates to that. I know they are waiting very patiently on me. And we are going to meet actually with all the 7 corporations, because the city of Port of Spain has gotten a substantial cut. Point Fortin, Diego Martin. And yesterday, actually, interestingly, was the day we went through with the Minister of Local Government where those things were raised. And again, I mean, very casual. I mean, once the money runs out, we'll go back in midterm review. So that, and we ask the question, I mean, how do you account for these large cuts and then the large increases in all the 7 UNC corporations? You indicated, well, they may not be able to spend it, they can get, I mean, it makes no sense, because then it impacts on garbage collection. I mean, and the complaints, I mean, and people very often don't know the difference between, the local government as well as, when you are a member of parliament, because as far as they're concerned, you cannot say it's the corporation. So simple things like patching and all of that simply doesn't exist. If you go through goods and services, in every single corporation, it has been reduced. Monies for employing
opposition control, all of it, corporations,
every single one, all seven.
Yeah. Yes, the PNM controlled corporation.
Yes. And the question is, when we compare the figures in 2025 as distinct from now, you see that there's where all the UNC corporations, I mean, the figures were very similar.
The issue too, I mean, yesterday also in the Standing Finance Committee, an issue was raised also too about the insurance of state vehicles and so on. And I would have thought that Minister Amin, who would have served for quite a bit in local government, would be aware that even municipal corporations' vehicles are not insured. So that was a bit surprising to me. And even the speaker, of course, even got it wrong in response to MP Brian Manning. But how do we, because local government reform, I mean, I'm on record as saying local government reform is a hoax, Ms. Beckles.
I have heard you.
Yes. And it just seems that we are going nowhere. Now it seems that we are going to be suffering local government even more.
Yes. Wendell, I mean, you have been in local government for a long time. So you understand, unlike others, how local government works. Now, the truth is that when we compare a number of other countries that have local government or in some form, I mean, I lived abroad, right? And I mean, the kind of money that you are paid to local government, you understand that that is the only way that local government was going to function. So, I mean, a substantial amount of monies were collected by local government during the last fiscal. I mean, our question is, where has that money gone? We all understand, while we talk about it a hoax, we know what the intention was, that those monies would then be utilized by the respective corporations to do the kind of work that people have been complaining for years, because traditionally it goes to the consolidated fund. Now, once they have access to that, I mean, all the issues, be it in Arima, Port of Spain, Siparia, so that was actually put in place. That has now been stopped. I mean, it's like the property tax, which we're not really talking much about, but you say no property tax. But in most instances, I mean, they collected hundreds of millions of dollars in the property tax. I mean, what are they doing with that? And whilst Minister Tanku said he was going to give you back the money, Prime Minister says, no, I don't know anything about that. So the truth is, what is happening to property tax? And then you bring the one with the landlord and tenant. But Richard, if you just bear with me 1 minute, I just wanted to just share quickly. So in addition to Arima, which you spoke about, which is the decrease is actually 12 million, not 9 million. In Diego Martin, the decrease is 6 million. In Port of Spain, the decrease is 15.6 million. Point 14, the decrease is 12 million. And if I could just quickly say, in relation to, let us say, Shogunas had an increase of 20 million. Penal Debe, an increase of 21 million. Princess Town, an increase of 20 million. I mean, clearly that indicates what the government took a deliberate decision. And if you go back to the previous figures, you would see that the monies allocated were really similar, and really to do more with the geography. And you didn't hear them. You hear them complaints from time to time, but they got their funding. And if you look at since April to now, the other issue that existed was a lack of releases, again, for the corporation. So you can have money, you can have an allocation. When you apply for it, it's a totally different story.
Yeah.
Mrs. Beckles-Robinson, I just want to find out. Now, I know every government will have to do what they have to do. They will make promises on the outside. When they get there, it's a whole different thing. So they have to cut back on. My major concern coming out of the budget was basically the price that the budget was predicated on, to what everybody's basically saying. Up to yesterday, we had a guest on yesterday. Nowhere it is saying that we expect oil and gas to reach those kinds of numbers. So there is serious concern as to how the government is going to do their business and be able to fulfill all of the things that they would like to do. How is the opposition viewing that, as far as is it going to be borrowing a lot now for others to pay for down the road, or what are you all forecasting right now?
Well, I mean, I said it in my budget. If you were 73 plus, and I mean, if you looked at yesterday, it's now 50, almost up just about $60. So you have a serious deficit. So even though they're telling you it's just 3 point something billion and you're borrowing 19 billion, if you look at the methods by which they are collecting revenue, I mean, you talk about the alcohol tax, you talk about the situation in relation to careless driving, but when you look at the revenue, I mean, the shortfall is tremendous. So but we go back to the existence of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, where you could make a case. So if you, based on what they have done, where you definitely will have a shortage in revenue, then they're really making a case very early to go and tap into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, which, as you know, under the law does not allow them the luxury to do it unless if a case is made out. But if you're going to have such a heavy shortfall, and we understand what is going on in relation to the Venezuela situation, which is very much linked to the discussion. Because if on the one hand you said the Dragon gas deal was dead, I mean, and Minister Young and Dr. Rowley were able to go and get this 30-year license, they got something for 6 months. So, I mean, where are we getting, we know as a fact that we, in terms of the production of oil, I mean, years ago we were 100,000 barrels a day. We are down substantially from that, as well as gas. So, I mean, where are they finding all of this? And that is why I'm saying, yes, you can do your debate, but it's now when you come down today, actually, would be the different Minister of Finances before the Finance Committee. So it would be interesting what would be some of the responses.
I know we just have a few more minutes left, and I wanted
sure.
to bring up the issue of Caricom.
Yes.
And because it seems as if Trinidad and Tobago is more and more at odds with the Caricom position, and especially with regard to foreign policy, and certainly we would the outlier with regard to the zone of peace, reaffirmation of the zone of peace in the Caribbean region. Are you concerned about our relationship with Caricom and its possible and Trinidad and Tobago being an outlier? And are you, as an opposition leader, making any sorts of communication, having any sort of communication with a lot of the leaders in Caricom? Because you would know them, because you've been there. So you've been there. You are a seasoned politician. You've been there for long. You were also at the UN. So you would know them and would be familiar with all of them. Have you reached out to them in terms of what Trinidad and Tobago's position is, and how, what's your sense of the relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and Caricom in this?
Yeah, well, Richard, you would have seen that Caricom actually put out a statement, right? And in putting out that statement, Trinidad is taking a totally opposite view, which really we should not be surprised, because you would recall that months ago when this issue started, the Prime Minister made it clear, you free to say what you want, I'm free to say what I want. Okay, so they have been very, very consistent in that respect. But then when we talk about Caricom, we know that over the years we have improved tremendously. I mean, I was at the United Nations. And you take, you are very often there are disagreements. It's not that you always agree, but you work towards consensus. And it's very rare that you would have a Caricom statement being put out where there's not consensus. So you know that once we are going down that road, it means that Trinidad and Tobago is prepared to take the position almost of being isolated in a very, very, very sensitive and a very, very serious matter. For me, that is not just unfortunate, because it is not just in this issue. Think about everything. I mean, you're an artist. I mean, we go all over the Caribbean, and we have seen so much improvements in terms of our relationship. I mean, I've seen Nyla Blackman recently in Dominica. I mean, it's there. The SMME. There's so much more over the years to me where you have seen that the collaboration has improved. So if we take that position, I mean, what are the consequences for us in terms of trade? I mean, the same issues we talk about in terms of your deficit. If you remember, Trinidad is not an ATM, and when the Prime Minister at that time made that statement, what did it happen? It took a little while for us to build back that relationship. Let us think about natural disasters. I mean, we are very fortunate that we are so far south. We have not really been impacted by a hurricane. Even United States, as big as they are, as rich as they are, when you have a hurricane, I mean, look at what happens. Sometimes you have to get help from outside. So we have to not just pray, but we have to still actively recognize that there is value in Caricom. There is value in being diplomatic, and being a lot more careful about the language and how we speak, because it's going to come back to haunt us. We are an island, Trinidad and Tobago. 2 islands, 1 country, but I mean, we depend every week. That's where the goods come from. A lot of it that we buy in the market and other places, and a lot of our manufacturing goes up the island. When you look at the balance of trade, very often Jamaica and all those countries. I mean, it's Trinidad. It's our manufacturing.
Do you think that trade could be impacted by the position of Trinidad and Tobago under the current administration?
I think everything will be impacted. Everything will be impacted. I mean, all of us have, my family on my mother's side, Caricom, Grenada, my father, Barbados. I mean, we just think about it. We all have families throughout the region, and as I'm saying, the industry, our culture, we have worked so hard that those exchanges exist. The University of the West Indies. I mean, everything that you think about, we have been working. That free movement of people, there's a reason for that. So, I mean, it's not going to be just business as usual where people are going to feel, all right, well, that was just a statement. No,
But
it's not going to be that.
but a lot of times the Caribbean people think that, but you have Barbados taking the lead with regard to the freedom of movement. I think with Barbados, is it St. Vincent, Dominica, I think, several countries, I think 4 in all, who are allowing that complete freedom of movement, that you can work and live wherever you want. But that decision was taken about 2 years ago by Caricom, and the last administration, the PNM, did do, as far as I'm aware, did nothing in terms of bringing up any legislation to accomplish that. And there were certain timelines that Caricom themselves did not meet.
No, they didn't meet the timelines, but I mean, whilst it's 2 years, that has been a work in progress for several years. So as far as I know, that legislation was I mean, I have to confirm with Amory, but I know that was a piece of legislation that was almost drafted. The drafting should have been completed. And even if you don't have that situation of the legislation, I mean, we do know to a large extent that you have had, particularly with the artists, people moving, you have had a lot of people working, but as what's happening in Barbados leading the way, you want to make it seamless.
Yeah. My last question, Ms. Beckles, is the issue of, and as you raised the issue of language just now, it's been reported in today's newspapers that the vice president of Venezuela is saying that the current prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago is leading this country over a cliff. How would you respond to that? And do you agree with that?
Well, listen, I mean, the vice president of Venezuela is free to use that kind of language. I mean, I ideally, as a Trinidadian, you think of being a Trinidadian and a Tobagoan first, always. But it comes back to what Richard said, even as it relates to the parliament. You're talking about supposed war. I mean, if you're talking about that, you're not going to have people using nice language. I mean, that's the risk you run, because remember, if you go saying kill them violently, right? And there's some impression that is being created for the people of Venezuela to feel that Trinidad is supporting some sort of invasion. And to date, you have had 7 vessels where people have died, 27 people. So it is not, I mean, this is not Dolly House, this is serious business. So you are going to have a situation where you're going to have a war of words. I mean, we have to expect that. It's and I don't think it's going to get better until, I mean, so that's one of the things that Caricom spoke about, conflict resolution. Who's going to, I mean, we see it happening internationally. I mean, is it that we feel that you cannot talk? So it's always important for us to have that door open, because we understand the consequences for Trinidad and Tobago if we don't recognize that talking, discussions, conflict resolution is always an option.
Yeah. Is the opposition expected to support the passing of the budget?
Well, I mean, in this form, it's going to be a challenge for us. I mean, we have the finance committee. We have up until Saturday, so we will do our caucus as we normally do, and at that time we'll take our decision.
Oh,
well, that's where we're going to have to end it this morning. But thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us, on the breakfast show, and thank you very much.
Good. And looking forward to come back again.
One last piece of advice. Keep your nice, quiet demeanor. Keep it, huh? Don't deviate from that, regardless of what you see.
Well, I mean, the thing is that you acquire demeanor, yes, but there are times when you have to up your tone a little, and there are also times when it is necessary. I mean, I've been consistent in terms of my demeanor, but I'm going to ensure that, of course, I'm not muzzled, and people should not assume that when you speak quietly, that means that you can't either defend yourself or that you don't have very strong views.
Yeah. I'm accused of that sometimes, so I understand.
Oh my word.
Yes.
Good word,
until people get you upset, right, Richard? Then they see the real Richard.
Then they see it.
You come across like a liberal, not a wannabe liberal, but you come across like a liberal. Thank you very much, Ms. Beckles.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Take care.
All right, you too.
Of course, that was the political leader of the People's National Movement and the leader of the opposition in the parliament, the Honorable Penelope Beckles-Robinson. All right.
The news you need. The clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
You're listening to News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean, keeping you informed and connected. I'm Derek. Good day. Appeal Court Judge Ronnie Budasing is now the new Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago. He was officially sworn in on Wednesday afternoon during a ceremony at President's House in St. Anne's, Port of Spain, presided over by Acting President Wade Mark, who is serving while President Christine Kangaloo is on vacation abroad. Justice Budasing's legal career spans more than 3 decades, with experience in both civil and criminal courts. He was first appointed a Poisne judge in 2007 and later elevated to the Court of Appeal in 2020. Before joining the bench, he worked at J.D. Sellier and Company, then spent 7 years as a prosecutor in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. He also lectured at the Hugh Wooding Law School, where he led the Trial Advocacy Program and founded the Human Rights Law Clinic. Justice Budasing is a published author of 4 books, including a textbook on trial advocacy, and continues to train lawyers and students across the region. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is calling on Acting President Wade Mark to halt any attempt to appoint a new Chief Justice, saying the proper constitutional process has not been followed. In a letter sent Wednesday, Beckles urged that Justice of Appeal Prakash Musai be appointed to act instead, arguing that her office was not given enough time or information to properly consult on the decision. She said Acting President Mark's correspondence referenced both acting and substantive appointments under 2 different sections of the Constitution, and one letter gave her just an hour to respond before the post became vacant. Beckles stressed that meaningful consultation is vital to protecting judicial independence and the country's democracy. President of the Assembly of Southern Lawyers, Attorney Syra Lacan, says she fears for her safety after a second firebomb attack on her San Fernando law office. The incident happened around 3:30 a.m. on October 22nd, when someone climbed her perimeter fence and placed 2 Molotov cocktails, one at the front door and another near an electrical panel. The flames went out on their own, causing only minor damage. Lacan says this is the second attack in less than a month and believes she's being watched. She's urging swift police action before there's another attempt. Former government minister and attorney Prakash Ramadar condemned the attack, calling it a direct threat to the rule of law, while police say investigations are ongoing. Businessman Danny Guerra and 14 others have appeared in court charged with unlawfully processing aggregate without a license from the Ministry of Energy. Guerra, 50, of Sangre Grande, owner of DG Homes and manager of D. Guerra Limited, was arrested during a major police operation on October 9th that shut down an alleged illegal quarry in Manuel Congo, Guanapo. Police seized a multi-million-dollar wash plant, trucks, and excavators during the raid. Each accused was granted $50,000 bail, though 3 foreign nationals remain in custody. The court has ordered police to provide partial disclosure by October 24th, as testing of materials from the site continues. Attorneys for Guerra and others have applied for the release of their seized equipment, while investigations are ongoing. In the region, Venezuela's Vice President Delcy Rodriguez is warning that the United States is deceiving Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Dicesar over the new license to explore the Dragon gas field. Speaking at a business forum in Caracas, Rodriguez insisted that Trinidad and Tobago must pay for Venezuela's gas, saying, "Any molecule exported has to be paid for. That's international cooperation." She cautioned that the Prime Minister was being misled by U.S. officials, claiming it's not Marco Rubio who will give you the gas, it's Venezuela. Rodriguez also issued a veiled threat, saying TANT's economy could collapse if Caracas does not finalize a deal with Port of Spain. Her comments follow Persad-Dicesar's recent U.S. trip, where Senator Marco Rubio assured her of a new license from Washington, allowing TANT to proceed with the Dragon gas project, as long as the Maduro regime does not benefit. In international news, the United States has imposed new sanctions on Russia's 2 biggest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, in a fresh bid to pressure Moscow into ending the war in Ukraine. President Donald Trump announced the move after meeting with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, calling the sanctions tremendous and saying he hopes they'll push Russia toward peace. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the sanctions target the war machine, funding President Vladimir Putin's invasion, warning that further action could follow. The move came just a day after Trump shelved a planned meeting with Putin in Budapest, following renewed Russian strikes that killed at least 7 people, including children. The UK has already taken similar action, targeting the same oil giants last week. Together, Rosneft and Lukoil account for nearly 6% of global oil output. And that's news at this time.
That was News Now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Pay $1 down on hire purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
CLR is your turn. The Roadie Lovers comedy show is coming to the east. Cipriani Lebac College.
One show only. Sunday the 2nd of November, 6:30 p.m. baby.
Tickets available at Electronics Arima, Dorman Shoe Store, Long Circular Mall, Anthony's Floral Val Park, Gate Square Stores, Eastgate Mall, West Mall, Brentwood Plaza, Chagonas, and C3 Center Mall, San Fernando, and islandetickets.com. For more info, call 683-0356. Eastside, are you ready to laugh? Well, clock it.
Get ready to experience an explosion of culture. The Faisal Connection Theatre Company presents a mini concert showcasing incredible talent. Feel the rhythm with the incredible UC stars. Be captivated by the performances of Faisal Secondary School Drama Group, the amazing Michaela Sylvester, John Denacion, and Daniel Gale, Mandisa Matthews, Abideli the Extempo Master, Whitney Williams, Amelia Harding, and Joseph Lopez. It's a night of poetry, music, dance, drama, and drumming, all come together in one unforgettable performance. Friday, October 31st, 2025, 7 p.m. at the Faisal Regional Complex. Cost $20. Contact 379-9078 for more information. Don't miss out on the talent, the energy, and the connection.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
The public is demanding it, so the laughter continues. Your Dolly Faldo Watch Corn is now at Central Bank Auditorium for 2 nights only. Saturday, October 25th at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday, October 26th at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss the play that some say is the funniest of all time. Tickets available now online and at the usual outlets. And from Monday, October 20th, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily at the Central Bank box office. Your Dolly Faldo Watch Corn has been matching up audiences.
Of course, we're back, and these are the closing off minutes of the show, or seconds actually. Just want to remind you that tickets are available at the Central Bank box office. 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily for your Don't Leave Foul to watch corn. Tickets also available at K Squared Fashions West Mall, K Squared Fashions Eastgate, and K Squared Fashions in Brentwood Mall, Jabili Rawe in Tunapuna, Electronics in Arima, and Tony's Florals in Valpark Shopping Plaza and Sharpley Auto Services. These are all of the outlets you can get tickets at. You can also purchase tickets online. Check our SRR Productions Theatre on our social media pages on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And you can see the process in purchasing tickets online. We're looking forward to this weekend at Central Bank. This is going to be our final two shows. Our final two. I am speaking. Final two shows in Port of Spain. And so if you're in the Port of Spain area or in Western Trinidad, this is your last opportunity in a theater that's close to you to see your Don't Leave Foul to watch corn. Do not miss it. Trust me, it's a great de-stressor. You have something to say, Wendell?
Of all the people who born October 24th, Charmaine is the only person who I know not grumpy.
And there's both people.
I don't know what happened to my two co-hosts, but they just vanished. But this is where we wrap up the breakfast show this morning. I don't know what happened to them. They're obviously having some technical difficulties. I don't know what the hell is going on.
Right. So, people, before we go, I just want to let you all know, coming up at 8:30, which is like about 9 minutes away from that, on the stream after we come off of the Gael Caribbean feed, you can join us on New Era TT Radio, because we have the Tuesday Talk with David Abdullah. That's going to start at around 8:30 and run until 9:30 this morning as he and his team look at the budget, right? So that's coming up.
Did you just say Tuesday Talk?
Yeah. It happened on Tuesday. So that is what the platform is, the Tuesday Talk, but we carry it after. We're not carrying it live. It's not a live something. So they have this weekly Tuesday Talk. So we carry it on a Thursday morning at around this time, so that people can listen to the voice of the MSG and their partners in between there. And also we have a whole lot of good music today on the platform, because it is Throwback Thursday and we get it's whole song Thursday. You know how everybody like to chop up song? You get to the whole song. Yeah.
All right. So let me do my part now. Of all the ads we have on the show, I think the Rumbox ad is the absolute best. I'll do my wait.
Oh God, what happened to Wendell again? It seems like he's having some technical difficulties. Where he is.
Maybe.
Get better internet, Wendell.
The transit.
Oh, he come back. The internet will
You want to see what I go through on a morning here with these two guys?
Oh my God, he gone again.
Oh,
there he is. He's back.
Wendell, you need good internet, man.
Have a wonderful day, people. Remember to let go and let God.
Of course, tomorrow is your day where you can talk about whatever the hell that you want. We're leaving it up to you. We will shut up tomorrow. At least I will shut up. You know, it's very difficult for Sir Charles and Wendell to shut up.
But that was explained. That was shown today. We couldn't shut up at all.
At all. So so tomorrow is your day to raise whatever the hell you want, whatever your opinion is on whatever issue. Tomorrow, it's your voice on The Breakfast Show. So looking forward to that. Have a fantastic day, people. The weekend begins tonight in the second half to midnight.
Cake and ice cream.
Get it. Remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right. This has been The Breakfast Show.
This has been
The Breakfast Show.
This has been The Breakfast Show! Yeah!
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned